As the virus began to take hold in the UK, Mr. Johnson pushed to continue with his weekly face-to-face meeting with Her Majesty. However, as cases and deaths began to rise, advisors to the Prime Minister warned the Queen's life may be put at risk. The royal audience with the Queen, 95, had been scheduled to take place on March 19 as cases began to rise. As the grim picture of the pandemic began to take hold in the UK, the face-to-face meeting was moved to being held over the phone. Mr. Johnson had been keen to keep Her Majesty in the loop in person, but after being reminded of the severity of the virus for the elder generation, his face went ashen. One source told the Daily Mirror, he was pressing advisors to allow him to go and see the Queen and told Private Office that was his intention. This was despite the increasing levels of COVID and the risk that would come along with such a visit. Eventually he saw reason when he was asked firmly by a senior advisor if he could imagine the reaction if he was responsible for the death of the Queen. At that point his face went ashen and he scurried back into his office muttering about the whole thing being ridiculous. No more was said about it. A second source confirmed the story to the publication, although a No. 10 spokesperson claimed the Prime Minister did not attempt to meet the Queen. Soon after the proposed meeting, the Queen travelled to Windsor where she resided during the first lockdown. With her support staff dubbed HMS Bubble, Her Majesty relocated to her Berkshire home and was not seen on official duties outside the grounds until November 8. 2 weeks after their last meeting, Mr. Johnson tested positive for COVID and was admitted to intensive care. The face-to-face meeting with Her Majesty did not resume until this week. Meghan and Harry would have been included in slimmed-down monarchy, latest Scottish nationalists branded pathetic for attack on Queen. Update poll, should William and Harry finally resolve feud at Diana event? Poll, it is thought, the engagement was the first time the Queen has been at Buckingham Palace for 6 weeks. Speaking to the Prime Minister on Thursday, Her Majesty revealed she had spoken to Health Secretary Matt Hancock beforehand. In a remark, the Queen said, "I've just been talking to your Secretary of State for Health, poor man. He came for Privy Council." Earlier this month, Her Majesty travelled to the G7 summit in Cornwall to meet world leaders. Her Majesty also attended the final day of the racing at Royal Ascot on Saturday. Last year Her Majesty was forced to miss the event due to the pandemic. Although none of her horses won at the event, the monarch was seen inspecting Reach for the Moon in the parade ring.